I was raised on this same street.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, up there from the cemetery.
Yeah. What year were you born?
November 11th, 1918.
1918.
Yeah, the day World War I ended. I was born at 6 o'clock, November 11th, 1918.
Where were you born? In a house?
In a house. There's a house down in front of the cemetery. Where Butch House's got his office there. That's where I was born. No, I was born uptown. I was born in front of the United Banking, the FMB, right, that vacant lot over there is a big white house.
Vacant lot where the behind the Duncan Lodge?
Yes. A big white house there. And Sammy Patterson's house, he was worked at the courthouse. And Mama and Daddy had a room there. And that's where I was born.
Huh. Were you the oldest?
I was the oldest of 5. They all deceased. I'm the only one left.
What year was your mom and dad married?
1917.
1917.
They had it rigged up. Nobody won't believe it, knowing my mother. But she went up there to Flat Creek. She had a big meeting up at Flat Creek Church. And my mom and my granddaddy and grandmother brought my mama there to it. She was 18, I think. And he was 35. She was 20 and he was 35, 15 years different. And they eloped on a motorcycle. You, my mother, you wouldn't think that, would you?
Now, what was your mother's name?
Thelma Polk.
Thelma Polk.
She was. Her father was John Polk up at Lapahall, and he was president of the Bank of Lapahall when he died, and he was well-to-do.
And what was your father's name?
My father, James Leonard. They called him Leonard. Yeah. And
how did they meet?
The first time they met was when she was 3 years old. My grandfather, on my daddy's side, he had a harvesting machine. And he'd go to different farms and thresh the oats for them. Well, Mama opened the gate. She's 3 years old, and she opened the gate for him. Of course, my daddy wasn't but 12, but that's the first time they saw each other.
So how did they meet later in life?
My daddy was a telephone man, you see, right there. And he had to go to Lapahall, and operator at Lapahall kind of set it up. That's how they got going together.
Oh, okay. So how long did they court, do you know?
Oh, they didn't court long. They didn't court long. It was a very short time.
I see.
My mama wanted to get away with them boys. There was 8 boys she had to look after, 10 to, and she's one of 13 children.
How long did you live on Washington Street there, where you were born?
About 6 months.
About 6 months.
Then my daddy bought the old, they call it a folksome house, but Henry Patton was born in that house. I guess you call it the Patton house.
Is that the house that's where the Houston's office is now? Is that where?
Yeah, that's where it was. And I sold that over to Butch, and Life of the South at that time, and they moved it out to Crenshaw.
Yeah,
it's part of a
that's right.
black church out
that's
there,
right.
Crenshaw.
And how many brothers and sisters did you have?
There's 5 of us. I had 1 brother and 3 sisters. Yeah, they were in their 70s, when they died, early 70s.
And your dad was a telephone linesman?
Yeah, he was a manager of Lapahall, Willacoochee, here, Quitman, and Adel. He took care of all those lines.
And your mother, did she stay home or was she
No,
working?
she was a work. She was an operator.
Telephone operator.
Yeah.
How long did she work as an operator?
Oh, many years.
Is that right?
Yeah. She would have babies and go back to work.
So the whole time that you were growing up, did you all just live in Nashville?
Oh, yeah. All my family is original settlers of Lowndes, Barron, and Osceola. What's that?
Irwin.
Yeah, Irwin. Yeah, they're the original settlers here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, when you started going to school, did you go to the old?
The first school I went to is where Larry Taylor used to live. I don't know if you know where I'm talking about. That stucco house, there's a white Baptist church. That's the original Baptist church in Nashville.
Right.
And I went through the first grade there. Then next I went over to that brick building over there where the city hall is.
Oh, so you went to where the McPherson Academy was?
That's right. Oh, it was across the street.
That's right.
Yeah.
But was that the school you went to?
It was a converted church.
Oh,
They had two schoolrooms in there.
Oh, I
Two
see.
big schoolrooms in
So
there.
you actually went to school in the church then?
Yeah.
Is that right?
They'd already built the other Baptist church.
I see, but they used the old church as a school
Yeah,
for two classrooms.
Yeah.
How many
Two
grades?
first grades,
Two
I
first.
believe it was.
And where did the other kids go to school then?
They went to the big brick building.
Oh, okay.
You seen pictures of it.
Right.
Yeah. And I went there in the 7th grade.
It was the second grade that you went there? Oh, I see.
Miss Brown was my teacher. Was she your teacher? Miss E.H. Brown?
No.
Oh, I'm way ahead of it. I forget. 94.
Yeah. We're
We're a little bit behind.
Yeah, we're behind. Do you remember all your teachers' names?
I think I do.
Is that
The
right?
first one was Miss Chandler, Miss Brown, Miss Harvey, Miss Parham, Miss Humphries, Big Fudge's what was her? Eileen Fudge, and that got me. Say,
That's through 6th grade.
huh?
That's 6th grade.
That's 6th grade, and my 7th grade teacher. I ain't thought about that lately. I just hadn't thought about it lately. But it'll come to me in a minute. I'll think of it in a minute,
What
I
about
think.
high school?
I went to high school and was in Miss Bragdon's homeroom. She was a good teacher. Oh, she was a good teacher.
How many grades did you just go through the 11th grade? Is that
They had 11 grades and stayed out a year and I went to Dahlonega 1 year. Went to South Georgia College 1 year. Graduated from University of Georgia.
That's where you
That's
went?
where I had to go. There was no other place to go. High school.
They still
The grammar school used to be the high school. I'm talking about brick building, but 7th grade was. I did my music recital there, and the name of it was Meditation by Morrison. I can remember that.
Did you play sports?
Football,
Did you?
yeah.
What? 11 man?
Yeah, that was my. I was right during the middle of the depression we talk about now. I mean, in high school there. I mean, it was hard times, and so they couldn't have a football. They didn't have any money to have a football team. And then my senior year, I got together with a bunch of boys, and we went to Joe Sam Robinson, and I asked him wouldn't he coach us, and he agreed to it. So we had that's what started back football again. It's been going ever, as far as I know, ever since.
So your senior year was the first year that they had football after they had dropped it earlier because of the depression.
That's
Is that
right. That's right.
Okay.
In 1934,
Were you a good student in school?
Well, I got a good report to show you from Douglas over there. I made all A's. I was president of the high school class.
Oh, you were.
Yeah.
Did you have girlfriends or?
Oh, God. I'm looking at a lot of them pictures over there.
Oh, is that right? Any of them still living?
One of them, when I went to that first grade, her name was Meredith Rents. They called her Mutt Rents. Her daddy was a doctor. In fact, he's the one that delivered me.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that, yeah.
Yeah, he's the doctor that delivered me. Okay. And we were down there playing in the ditch, you know, and she stepped on a piece of glass and cut herself. Oh, I was so sad. Oh, I hated that so bad. I loved her so good. I worked till Saturdays. I worked at Mr. Dorsey's grocery store.
What, as a bagger?
Well, I waited on the people too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
where was that grocery store at?
on the east side of the square.
Right on the square.
And so, you know where Fox Jewelers is, and then they put stores together.
Right.
It's one of them. It was in one of them places there.
Right. So when you went up to North Georgia, you were up there for how long?
For the school term.
Just one term?
Yeah. And then I decided I wanted to get changed, so I got over here to Douglas. My credits went right on, you know, because all parts of the university system, and my credits went right on. But I had the greatest time over at Douglas. They had a bunch of a new swimming pool, a new gymnasium, a lot of girls.
What was your major in school?
Accounting.
Accounting.
Yeah.
You like numbers?
Yeah. I like numbers. Pretty good. They couldn't believe it. Our first job out of school was an accounting department in a highway department in Atlanta. And they couldn't believe how I could do numbers. See, I didn't go into 43. Oh. My mama was a widow and had all them children, and I had to help work, keep them going.
What year did your father pass away?
1932.
1932. Were you still living at home then, or were you?
Yeah. I remember that morning he died.
What did he die from?
Oh, he was 51. He some kind of kidney disorder made his blood pressure go so high, and he had a stroke and killed him. Yeah, he wanted to live so bad. He loved life.
Did he linger for quite a while, or did he?
No.
Was it fairly soon?
About a week.
Oh.
I don't know how she made it through that depression.
And she
but her father and Lapo kept her in a fresh milk cow. So we ate, and Mama kept chickens, so we ate. We had eggs and milk, and we buy cornflakes by the carton from the Dorsey grocery. They bring in big cornflakes, and we buy, and they send down whole bunch of bananas. You know, and they come in big bunch. We buy that and drink that milk. That's what we lived on, just about it.
Where you living? Still down there on?
Yeah, it was. It don't look like it does now. Where E.J. Wynn's house is, that was just an open thing, and every 365 days a year, water ran out of that cemetery. There's a spring down in the lower end, and it go back down through there, and run back up on the hill, and that's where I played. I had water up to make dams and play any way I wanted to.
So when the war broke out, where were you when you first heard that the Japanese had bombed Pearl Harbor?
I was Shine. He knows Shine Merle Anderson. They asked me to go with them to Tifton to the picture show. And we were in that picture show when they announced it.
Is that right?
Uh-huh.
How did you react to it? How did everybody?
Well, I knew I was real bad to go because I was at prime age for it, you know. So the post office, about counting that time at about 42 years.
So you were working at the post office here at the time?
Yeah, Big Punch was drafted, and I took his place. Of course, I'd worked before he ever worked, but I'd been off in college and was working in the county department in Atlanta.
That was the post office over there where Bailey's Appliance is now? Is that?
No, that the store's gone, isn't it? Yeah, out that park. There was a stores there. Stalin's feed store was there one time.
Right.
Joe Harvey's up there.
Right.
Old Marion Hotel.
Right. Where was the post office?
In building there.
What, in where the Stalin's feed place was, or on the other end?
It was Stalin's feed place.
That was a post office.
Before he was
in there, was a post office. Okay.
And then we moved across the street.
Okay.
K.L. Miller built us a new post office there. Certain numbers you had to meet. And so when I was called to that number, assigned the number, and then you could pretty much tell when you was going to go in.
Where'd they send you for physicals?
Fort Memphis.
And after your physical, did you come home or?
No, they kept me there 6 weeks. I said, what? There's 2 boys from Nashville, A.W. Gaskin. He worked there. And another, I can't think of the other boy's name, but anyway, I said, how come they keeping you here? Or they keeping you here for a reason. I'm sure. I stayed 6 weeks up there in Fort Mac. I got so tired of that place. And finally they called me and sent me to Fort Lee, Virginia. That's where I did my basic.
I see.
And then over to Westchester for my postal training, because I knew everything.
So you were going to be a postal clerk then, is that right?
Well, yeah, I was, all during the war. But I wasn't doing that. I was financial.
Oh.
I went to these 3 bases. And first of the month I went, I just go in and start over again, write money orders for those boys. And the officers, you know, they send money home. But then we wanted to go out, meet some girls, so they had a USO in the American Legion. And bless Pat, she was one of the first girls I met. And I wasn't interested in her especially. I'd show she was vivacious, attractive. I thought she was a full-blooded Italian because she'd been out in the sun, she got her a good tan, big brown eyes, and everything. And so thing just lingered along. We got other girls, and then one day we met up again at the Baptist church there, I think it was. I was going up the steps, and she was Irish Catholic, and she asked me to come eat with her at church, and I did. And so from then on, I went from the 598th to the 65th, and I went to Bell State. I landed in Cherbourg, and went up through France up to Belgium, Antwerp. And
you were following the advanced troops and everything.
Yeah.
Is that right? They had already taken.
Yeah, when I went over, time I got over, the war was over.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, VE Day was, it was in 45, early 45. Yeah. So the worst of the bumming all was in 44. Oh, God. I saw the biggest armada that's ever been in the air. It's the day after the Battle of the Bulge. It had been snowing. It wasn't snow. The dew would freeze, but the country was just white. That's what it was over there in the Battle of the Bulge, same way. Well, as soon as the daylight came, the fogs went out after about 2 weeks, and we got our clobbered. And when that first pretty day, we said everything we had, even throw sandbags or something, but they just threw every plane we had up there, and that's the biggest armada there's ever been. Yeah, they come over us and gain heights, you see.
Right.
And every afternoon, just at dusk, you look up north, and you mosquitoes, those Canadian planes, you ever heard of them? No, you hadn't? Well, they were headed to Berlin every afternoon at the same time. There was a plywood planes, 2-motor planes made in Canada.
Anything that would fly, just about.
Huh?
Anything that would fly.
It was fast. They were fast, though. This was bombing Berlin. But this time we would go to Belgium, between Aachen and Antwerp, Battle of the Worlds.
So, were you still overseas then at the end of the war? Now, when you got back here to the country, back in the U.S., did you go to Westchester first, or did you come to Georgia?
No, I had to come here. They put you at port of debarkation, the closest to your home. So that was Augusta, Georgia. And so went to Augusta, got discharged, came home, stayed with Mama a few days. Westchester. She had a little pinafore when I saw her. She'd been working at a dress shop. She was so cute. God. And that afternoon we went uptown to the Havens drugstore, and we were sitting there drinking a Coca-Cola. I said, when do you want to get married? She said, April the 22nd.
And what day was that?
That was the day after Easter. Catholics couldn't marry during Lent.
I see. So what day was it that you asked her that question?
Huh?
What day did you ask her that question?
It was the day I got up there. I don't remember. It was I don't remember that date.
How long before you got married then?
I came back home, and we decided, she set the date. I already had it set for her. I didn't ask her to marry me. I said, when you want to get married? She said, April 22nd.
So did you get married on April 22nd?
Absolutely.
So did you bring her down to meet your mother?
Yeah, we came after we married.
Oh, before you married? Your mother?
No, my sister had been up there.
Oh, okay.
And
when was the first time you talked to her on the telephone when you got back home?
Immediately.
Immediately? What, when you landed in the States?
Yeah. I called her all the time.
But you couldn't talk to her when you were overseas.
No, you couldn't do that. We sent them emails.
So the first time you heard her voice again was 2.5 years after
right.
you had left.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's at death's door right now, down the nursery though.
Oh, is that right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, she's been in there 6 years.
How long have you been married now?
60. I figured it up the other day. I'd say 46. It'd be 66 years.
Wow. So when you got married, did you bring her down here? And that's where you live?
We came through Enigma the first time, and there was a well out in the middle of the street. It was all dirt street, and there's a well out there, and the awnings just like a Wild West town. That's the first time she saw Berrien County. I know she thought, my God, what am I getting into?
Because Westchester was probably pretty well developed.
Oh, yeah, beautiful town. Now you can't tell when you get out of Westchester and Philadelphia. It's built up so much.
But she ended up down here in one-horse Berrien County.
She enjoyed. She had fun.
Did she?
She's the only northern girl that I know of that really did enjoy it. She had more friends than anybody in town. This house here was, in the afternoon, it was that driveway out there was full of cars. She had so many friends.
When you first got married and came back to Nashville, where did you live?
First we lived at old Miss Polk's house. I don't know how to tell you how to get there. It's way on the, it's close to you. Your house you live in. Right up the street there is a big white house. What is the name of that street? BT?
Beatree?
I don't know. Avery.
Avery.
You on Avery?
Right.
Uh-huh. And,
is it the next block up?
Yeah, that white house.
That white house in the corner?
Uh-huh. Got a man from my lap hall to come down there and build a room on a porch. And that was where I first say it's miserable. I never took a hot shower there. Every day at noon she'd pull the lever. And it was $40 a month, everything furnished. And
including a cold shower, huh?
Well, I had to go to the hotel. My sister had meantime married. She married just before I did. But they stayed in the hotel, and I go up there and take my shower.
Which hotel? Nashville?
Nashville, the big one, the pretty one, the Succo one.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, I go up there and take my showers. So.
When you came back, where did you work? At the post office?
Oh yeah, I had a job waiting on me.
Is that right?
Yeah, and listen. I've never worked on my birthday. I've never been without a job in all my life. I've never had to worry one bit. I reckon that's why I'm living so long. No worries whatsoever.
So when you moved out of that place over there on Avery Street, where did you buy a house then?
No, sir. I went to I went down to Miss Phelps. She's all the first time boarders, when people get married. So she fixed my apartment. I said, Miss Phelps, please fix us a place to eat, to live. I'm so miserable over there, Miss Paul. She said, I see what I can do, son. So she did. She had a porch in the back, and I had a room, built a bathroom off the porch there. And
where was it located at?
Where that filling station is now. Oh, I don't remember the filling station there. You come off the square on Davis Street, and as you get off the square right there, there's a filling station.
Right.
Well, that's where her house was. Boy Sprayer was back of her. B. Morris's liquor store, where what's-call's got her restaurant.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's where we lived there for a good while.
I see.
Till well, then Miss Brown, you remember Miss E.H. Brown? You remember the Browns? She had a garage apartment, really nice. And so Marie got pregnant with Robert, and we decided we better find us a place. And so we had 2 rooms and of course, a bathroom and a back porch and a kitchen. And so we stayed there for a good while. And then she got pregnant again when I built this house.
So this is the first house in?
Yes, I was over there. Yeah, I was there at VJ Day.
Okay.
At VJ Day, and then I went full to Germany, an army of occupation, I think you call it.
Right.
Well.
So what year did you come back home?
46.
46.
Yeah.
How many years had you been over there then?
Over 2.5.
So how many children do you have?
I have. Well, my daddy had 5, so I decided I had 5.
So how many?
No, I had boys. I wanted a girl.
All you had were boys?
All the first 4 were boys.
Did you have 5th one a girl?
5th one was a girl.
Well, you had to keep trying.
You had to keep going. I tell you, don't give up. Dr. Carter delivered my little girl, and he went home to his wife. He had 4 girls. He said, 5 is the trick. She said, I went on washing dishes. In 9 months, she had a little boy. Frank Jr., you know.
So, which were the children all born in a hospital, or were they all born?
They was all born in the hospital. The 2 oldest were born in. Dr. Peters lived across that brick house across the street, and he had a lot of doctors about us to back him up. He wasn't so sure of himself for some reason, though. But all these young matrons, they liked him. And Marie thought the world's sunset, moonset, whatever. And so the first 2 were born in Valdosta, Little Griffin Hospital.
Oh, okay. When you moved into this house, did you build the house, or did
I helped build it, but I had 3 carpenters.
Who were they?
John A. Griffin and his brother, and that other fellow. I got a mental block. I've been trying to think of his name forever. And
I'm going to ask you a little bit about the way the community's changed and stuff.
Yeah.
I have a couple of questions. One thing I wanted to ask you about was, you mentioned that you were born in the big white house there across the street from where the Farmers and Merchants Bank is there,
Yes.
Right where the lot is behind the Duncan Lodge.
There you go.
Do you recall or remember where the old Star Laundry used to be? It was a big old place right there on Washington Street. Do you recall that place at all?
No, I don't.
It was a 2-story building. We've got a picture of it, and it says it's on West Washington, and it's kind of like a metal 2-story, but looks like it's made out of sheet metal or something.
That's made out of corrugated tin.
Yeah.
You don't. I see the picture. It might knock something up, loose up there.
It was. Probably, I would say it was probably about 19, I'm guessing about 1910, 1915 when the
I would.
But it might have still been there.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know if it had been changed. We don't know if it was right about that same location as where that big house was built or what, So.
My grandfather, my great-grandfather, my great-great-grandfather, and my great-great-great-grandfather is buried all in a row right there in the College Cemetery. Right? Yeah.
Was William E. Connell, was he any kin to you?
Who?
William E. Connell?
There's been 2 of them.
The one that married Sarah Morris Griffin.
Married who?
Sarah Morris Griffin.
Oh, Sarah. Oh, yeah. There's a Connell book over there. Yeah, that's my direct line.
Well, my grandmother.
He's my great-grandfather.
Yeah, okay. My second great-grandmother is Sarah Morris Griffin.
Is that right?
That's right.
How about that? We're kin.
We're kin. We sure are.
I got the Mike Mellon book.
Yeah.
Fletcher book.
Yeah.
Connell book. Paul book.
What they get together was about?
Oh, we got together all the time. Oh, there's a Jackson girl. I wanted to go with her, but she had a boyfriend. She's still living in Atlanta.
Okay.
There's Lucille Fuller, and that's Dee Reed John from Ray City. Dee Reed John, Bill Matthews, Dr. Dixon, and Wilson Connell.
That's right. Okay.
Oyster Club.
Yeah, that's
Oh yeah, I got that picture.
You got that picture?
Yeah.
Who are those people? That's
That's
the same group.
That's made in the house where Betty Jean Simpson lives.
Okay.
Uh huh.
All right. Who was living there at the time?
Ms. Griffin, Martha Sue Griffin, you ever heard of her?
Yeah.
Okay, that was her mama. She kept teachers' boarders.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you an anecdote about my daddy.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, there wasn't no paved road around the courthouse. So he was used to dynamite, working out, and a place you have to dynamite somebody to get it, because they didn't have automatic augers back then, you know.
Right.
You had to do it by hand.
Blow a hole.
Very muscular he was. But anyway, he put on a demonstration in front of the old Marion Hotel. You know where that was?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Out there in the dirt road, riding people up there. He got a barrel, put dynamite in the barrel, and sat on it and set it off.
How far did he go?
He didn't go far. He knew what he was doing. But there was dynamite at my house. I mean, he's living all the time. And heights didn't bother him one bit. As long as he lived, he kept the clock going on the courthouse.
Oh, he did?
And the water tank up there,
Yeah.
he called. There wasn't nothing to climb up there. My brother has done it too, but I haven't. I don't like heights like that. I don't mind being in an airplane, but I just don't want to be holding on the ladder.
So when your dad was working up in the courthouse on the clock, did he climb up into the tower?
Yeah, I've been up there. He used to take me up there.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. I thought I was a mile high.
Yeah.
I thought I was
Yeah.
a mile high.
Yeah. So what was the biggest change that you saw in Nashville, do you think, in say since 1950s? What about the tobacco auctions and stuff?
Oh yeah, that's the biggest change that I know of. Is the tobacco being. We had warehouses in summertime. It's so busy, and everybody get a job that wanted one. There's plenty of jobs.
The service station that sat there on Kitty Corner on the square there, you know, the one that sat there next to just south of Dorsey's Market there. Who owned that station?
That gas station, the Grinders, William Grinder owned it, but Mac Grinder, his brother, and Rube, they worked with him at the Gulf station.
And what about the where the cleaners are there on the corner, you know?
Yeah, down
On down Washington.
Yeah, right. That used to be a Pan Am station.
It used to be a what?
Pan Am station.
What's that?
Well, that's the name of the gas, Pan Am.
Oh, it was a gas station.
Pan America is what it stood for.
It was a gas station.
Filling station, yeah.
Did it have was it a drive under like
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they
The
enclosed
arches
that?
are still there.
The arches are still
the
there.
cars were narrow, you know.
Yeah,
you could
right.
get in there.
But
yeah.
that was a drive under.
Yeah, I go down the whole time I get my dry cleaning.
When did they build that building, do you think?
Oh, a long time. That's our old buildings.
Yeah.
The old stucco building. Then right up from there was a big two-story house where they were foreign people. Somewhere in Near East. I don't know whether Libyans or what lived there, I remember.
And then right behind where the old Western Auto is, you know, which is where the Whiddens storage, they use it for storage.
Yeah, right.
Right behind it, there's that vacant spot behind that.
Yeah, well, you know, over there next block's a hotel, the old National
over in
Hotel.
the next. What was behind the?
Yeah,
behind the,
I know. Yeah,
That
I
vacant
got
lot
you.
that's in there. What was there?
I don't remember
I
nothing.
can't remember. It's
No, I don't
always been
think it's
open.
ever been.
When they decided to tear down the old public school, how did that make you feel about that? You remember when they tore that down? That was probably when they built the city hall up there. You know?
Which one is he talking about?
One where the city hall sits.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I hate to see them do that. Yeah, I hate to see that go. They had big old columns and oak trees there and all. It was so nice. I another one of my playgrounds because I live right there in the corner, you know.
Do you ever remember a Dr. Edie that you?
Oh, yes.
You do?
Yeah. I've been with him, and
what did he look like?
well, he's slim. He was slim fella.
Did he have a beard?
Yeah, he did. He had yeah, and that house.
Where did he live?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Picture. It's like, you know where McKinley is?
Yes.
In front of the Baptist Church.
Yeah.
It's right on down there somewhere. There was an old house there, and of course it's not there now, but that's where they lived. And yeah, I ran with his grandson. I can't. It's on my mind, but I mean, back there they'll come out in a few minutes. Galen Edie.
Galen.
Galen Edie.
Yeah.
And I used to run around with him some. He's a little old, about 2 years older than I was. Well,
that's the person I played the other night.
And yeah, knew where you were going.
that's a person what?
Yeah.
Portrayed him.
I portrayed him the other night, Dr. Edie.
Oh, you played it in the cemetery?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I thought maybe there's a boy that got killed in the Air Force, the Parham boy, Lamar Parham. He was in pilot training out in Texas. And he pulling up the plane, the engine come back into the lap and killed him, you know. And it was a big thing here in Nashville. A boy graduated from West Point. Guy had his wings and had to, of course, she was my third grade teacher. And they were smart people. They were. That's that house where my daddy is.
How many of your classmates from high school and that were killed in the war?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I had but there's a class behind me had a bunch of them. My class, the only one I can think of is Hugh Moore. He was a pilot of the B-24. And by the way, when the VE Day was over, they took us, the ground people that serviced them, you know, they took us on a ride. We went up and down the Rhine River and back. Remagen Bridge, saw it sitting in the water there. Yeah, it's so nice.
Who were some of the ones from the class behind that died that you remember?
Well, you know, two. My brother was a pilot too, but they kept the smart ones, real smart people. They didn't send them in combat. They saved them to train people, and that's the way my brother was. He trained bombardiers and navigators.
Was that Julian?
Julian, yeah. Yeah, he's smart. He graduated physics from Georgia, you know. He taught physics after the war was over. While they was waiting to get out, he taught the officers physics. And Donald Keith in that class, I don't know, we lost a lot of boys. But Hugh Moore was the only one I can think of in my class.
Mm-hmm.
I think the rest of them came through the war all right. That little class picture I'll show you.
Okay.
Oh, will you get?
All right.
It's right up there. I want to tell you something about that. Just to the left of that box. He's right there, honey, somewhere right there. See my class picture?
Don't yet. I'm looking. I think here it is.
Uh-huh. Okay. The You know Thomas Parr?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. His and then there's Katie Mae Jones here. She had 5 fingers on one. I mean, 2 thumbs on one hand. She's your sister to all these Joneses. You know. And it's Patience Burgess Golden. What names to give to girls? Patience and Burgess. And Louise was pregnant.
Do you remember the people talking about the Gator children?
Yeah, I remember that old house and everything.
Where was it at?
Just as you cross the street on Washington Street used to go straight through.
Right.
You want to stay out there. You cross the railroad track.
Right.
There's a big old house on the left right there.
On the left.
Going that way.
Is it still there?
No, that thing been going for years and years.
But that's where the Gator children lived.
That's where they live.
That's when they were living in town.
Yeah.
Then they moved out off of Chaserville Road out there, just north of the highway before you cross over the river. They lived out there, and that's where they were living when their daddy died. They lived pretty old.
They did?
Yeah, they lived till they were 40 or 50.
I lost track of them.
Well, what did you do with your life most of the time when you weren't working?
I go to all softball games, baseball games, take my children to ball games, and
They all play.
I always had a garden out here. I always had something to do.
They all played ball. A lot of you.
Yeah. Except I had one boy that didn't, but 3 of them did.
You're probably going to be around another 15 or 20 years, so you got some time before you have to worry
I'm shooting
about
for 100.
There you go.
I enjoy life now. I've always enjoyed life.
Did you go fishing?
Yeah. Man, I used to fish a lot. Had some good places to fish too.
Where, local or around?
Local around here.
But farm ponds and stuff like that?
Yeah, ponds and river and creeks.
Oh, yeah.
That's like this was the Coochie River back. Different places to spot and catch them red bread. That's what I like better than anything.